I look very disheveled right now, right? There's a very obvious reason. I just survived April 1st. I did not get pranked once, and as much as I would love to say, it's just because I'm so smart, I actually really had to try this year. I woke up in the morning, and I made sure I wouldn't believe anything I read or saw for an entire day. And it was hard work, because these days, on April Fools, essentially, you can't trust any news sources, you can't trust any YouTube videos, you can't trust any companies, you can't trust TV, ads, anything. It's a day devoid of learning any new information because someone's gonna prank you. Now, it's my personal belief that April Fools hasn't been funny since the 50s. That may sound like a huge exaggeration, but a lot of people would probably know about this prank because it's pretty famous and I think one of the largest scales ever. But in 1957, the BBC released a 3-minute documentary about how spaghetti grows on trees.
Well, it's simply that the past winter, one of the mildest in living memory, has had its effect in other ways as well. Most important of all, it's resulted in an exceptionally heavy spaghetti crop. The last 2 weeks of March are an anxious time for the spaghetti farmer. There's always the chance of a late frost, which, while not entirely ruining the crop, generally impairs the flavor.
And lots of people believed them. And that is funny. The people who believed them looked like a fool, and it was April 1st.
Spaghetti cultivation here in Switzerland is not, of course, carried out on anything like the tremendous scale of the Italian industry. Many of you, I'm sure, will have seen pictures of the vast spaghetti plantations in the Po Valley. For the Swiss, however, it tends to be more of a family affair.
Like, it just looks like any documentary you would watch back then, and so there's no real reason why you would think it was a prank. Now, however, in the age of the internet, everyone has the opportunity to give you a thinly veiled lie, and you'll probably believe it because, like, why wouldn't you? So I've collected a few of what I think are the worst or best April Fool's pranks I heard of in the past day, and I didn't fall for any of them because I got them off a news site where I was collecting April Fool's pranks of 2019. But besides that, I essentially didn't use the internet. Starting with the literal worst, Google Maps added snake. Wasn't really a prank. So I think that ranks probably on the lowest at this point because Google usually do something terrible that I don't find funny anyway. But this year they didn't even try to prank. It's like, you're Google, everyone accepts if you do it. It more annoys me when other companies that are smaller do it just to annoy you. One of these examples is Domino's. They released a poster for their new milkshake. The candied pepperoni milkshake. Did anyone believe it? I don't know. I sure as hell didn't. I didn't even think it was that funny. Like, if I was gonna be a company like Domino's, I would add something absolutely ridiculous to the menu. People have bacon milkshakes. It's a thing that happens. And pepperoni's spicy, so when you say that in milkshake, people go, yeah, I don't think I'd drink a milkshake with that. And then you go, oh, it's April 1st. Great prank. So that's why you go for something a little more realistic. I don't even know what I would do. Like, obviously the marketing team has to do something, because if you're left out on April Fools, then you're the fool. But, like, what would you make? I'll give myself 10 seconds to think of the best Domino's prank I could. I don't know, just say pizzas are delivered by drones or something. Just say, hey, we're delivering pizzas by drone. People will be like, oh, that's probably true. Jetstar Airways announced new direct flights to an island called Learton. Now, the reason this is a prank is because Learton's not real. Backwards. Learton backwards is not real. And Learton's not a real place. And then you click on the link. You click on the link on their tweet. We've launched a new route, not Happy April Fool's Day from Jetstar. And then they write like 7 paragraphs on just nothing. Oh, here's one that I actually like. SodaStream released a video for a product called SodaStream Me. And the reason I like it is because it's a product that, if you were given no research, you could believe it was true. They essentially said they were launching a product called SodaStream Me, which was a bottle where you breathe into it and the CO2 from your breath carbonates your beverage, like a soda stream. And the reason I think this one is good is because they put a lot of effort into the video, and they put some realistic sounding science behind it, and they made the product, and you can see the product. So, yeah, that one's fine. You get 1 or 2 of those every year. In fact, I think we only got 2 this year, because the other one is Virgin Australia, another airline, announcing essentially what is Uber Eats, but you can buy things from interstate. Now, the reason I find this one to be okay is because, again, they made the ad look like a real ad that they spent time on. It wasn't just a Photoshop picture of a pepperoni milkshake. And it's believable. You could be fooled by something like this. But it's not just a flat-out lie. You're not missing out by not getting the product afterwards. It's not like anyone would actually use it, but you could be like, oh wow, look how the world is evolving. Wait, it's April Fool's Day. Honestly, I'm not sure if I can even continue this video. I just started having an existential crisis midway through looking at these. That's how much I hate April Fool's Day. Deliveroo did one that was sort of funny. They were like, hey, they plan to remove all crust from all pizzas because so many people ordered pizzas without crust. Now, I think the way that this prank could be improved was just say, now the default is without crust. And you just have to tick a box to get the crust back. That would be like a, well, what? Oh, I'm a fool. But instead you just see this and you're like, no you're not. You're not ditching pizza crusts. You can't cook a pizza without a crust. The crust is the outside of the pizza. The crust is the outside! Here's one that I'm not even sure if it was real, but this was on news.com. They cited this as one of the pranks. Kayak.com.au had launched Flat Earth kayak tours with new Flat Earth maps and everything. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's funny. Someone who believes in a flat Earth could get pranked by this, and that's someone who I do want to see pranked by stuff like this. So this was an okay prank, but it made me way sadder because not only could I not find any truth behind the fact that they'd made this prank, I couldn't find it on their website, I could only find it on the one news source. But when I tried to Google for it, I found out that there are real flat earth kayak tours that aren't April Fool's pranks. There are a lot of places that do flat earth kayak tours. Audible, release Audible for fish, so your fish can listen to audiobooks. Cool. A lot of them are just poorly photoshopped images, like Groupon's standing sleeping desk, along with this one that's a bit cuter. IGN presents Doggy Home Loans. You can get loans to build a dog home, which, that's pretty funny. GoGet, a car sharing service that I didn't hear of until today, said they were banning all Leo drivers based on studies of star signs. One that's, again, okay is a city called Orange in New South Wales. Said it would change its name to Pink because they don't grow oranges there. The thing that makes that joke funny is the fact that they said they don't grow oranges. if they hadn't said it, they were calling themselves Pink, if they'd, I don't know what produce they do have. Like, if they'd been like, oh, we're changing our name to Avocado because we grow avocados, not oranges, then I'd be like, okay. If we're changing our name to Banana, whoa, that's fun. We're changing our name to Pink. With an exclamation mark like the singer. Oh! But definitely the worst thing I saw this April Fool's Day was the new Rhett and Link video. Trying invisible foods. Now, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. They're a sciencey channel that do stuff like that. I think someone who didn't know it was April Fool's Day could watch the first maybe minute of that video and think that they were just gonna be eating some foods that were see-through or something. But it comes to the part where they're pretending to eat an invisible burrito. And then the video goes on for another 10 minutes. And they keep pretending stuff's invisible. And they never yell April Fools at the end of the video. And then it goes into their show after the show, Good Mythical More. And they keep up the act and say that the invisible stuff was real. Like, obviously everyone knows it's a joke, but it's 40 minutes or something of a prank that no one's gonna look like a fool after that. Not to mention all the maniacal laughing they do.
I don't know where he is! Where is he? He's over me! He's right here! Get away!
Really pains me. Rhett and Link make me uncomfortable, but I actually plan to make a video Rhett and Link make me extremely uncomfortable as it is, but I'm going to make an entire video on that, probably next week. So if you want to see a Rhett and Link video, there'll probably be a card on the screen right now if you're watching this a week late. Although April Fool's is a day where you just can't trust anything on the internet, there is one video that I actually sort of laughed and I thought it was funny, and I didn't understand entirely what the prank was, which I think is what April Fools should be moved to, is not believing, not making ads for stuff on the internet or stuff. I think it should be moved back into the real world. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. But the gamer from Mars released a video called What Happened to Harambe. And I won't spoil what happens at the end, but it gave me a good laugh. So essentially, what I think is, in this age of internet, April Fool's has just become a time of year where you just lie on your social media marketing and no one really believes you, and the people who do probably should spend less time believing things on the internet, because there's a lot of stuff on days of the year that aren't April Fools that people believe that isn't true on the internet. But I think April Fools should move back to a day where we actually prank people in real life, because in that moment it is harder to tell when something surprising is happening. I don't know. Project a UFO over the city or something if you want to advertise the new Tesla. And then after everyone sees the UFO and reports it, just be like, oh no, Tesla was just testing their new UFO. That's a funny joke. That way people who are there actually have their world shattered by seeing a UFO. Go into your office building and put out of order on all of the toilets. And then when someone goes into the toilet and they're like, oh no, it's out of order, and then they leave the bathroom and go back to their desk, you put a little out of order sticker on their chair. You go outside with your dog and you pick up a ball and you go whoop, but you don't actually throw it. You take your kid to the zoo, and then when you're there, you tell them, "You're the new exhibit, that's why I brought you, we're gonna put you in a cage." You can invite your friend over to watch Netflix, but then you actually just have sex with them. Males only. You tell all your friends that you think the second SpongeBob movie is better than the first one. I could do this forever. If you need someone to write your April Fool's pranks next year, shoot me an email. My email address is learton@learton.learton. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm really disappointed in myself that I had to make this video at all. It is literally one of the saddest topics, in my opinion. I absolutely hate April Fool's Day. I'm not sure what that green has been reflecting on my nose this entire video. I can't see what's actually making that light, and it makes me look a bit sickly. And in case you think I'm joking, the reason I look disheveled is legitimately because of how much I hate April Fool's Day. And that's not an April Fool's prank. So I'll catch you guys next week. I hope it will be my video about Rhett and Link, because I just thought of that while I was filming this one, and I didn't have something planned for next week, and sometimes I can get to the point where I'm meant to be filming and I haven't written it yet. But I have a lot of opinions on that. I'll catch you guys next Wednesday. Please don't fall for any pranks on April Fool's Day next year, 2 days ago, or any other misinformation online for the next 12 months between. That's all I ask of you. I'll see you all later. Bye. And anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, refrain. Don't carry the world upon your shoulder. For well you know that it's the fool who plays it cool by making his world a little colder. Oh.